said, Ricky is here to discuss this, some news round, and also Emily Cherry from the NSPCC, a regular guest on the sofa. Nice to see you again.
Morning, guys.
So, Ricky, you've been speaking to loads of kids about this. Give us the headlines. What have they been saying?
Well, I mean, at Newsround last year, we did a survey of 1,000 children aged between 10 and 12 years old. And back then, we found out that 80% of those kids had a social media account. Now, that's despite the fact that you're meant to be 13 or over to have a Snapchat or a Facebook or an Instagram. So we know that kids absolutely love social media. This year, we wanted to dig a little bit deeper. And on the whole, we found out that kids really love social media. They find it exciting, sociable, it makes them happy. 1 in 3 kids say they'll be left out, or they'll feel as if they're not able to kind of do the same things as their friends if they weren't on social media. And when it comes to selfies, the big thing we learnt this year is that there's an awful lot of pressure on young people to look good. Something like 4 in 5 children said they want to look good in their selfies, and they take, like you said, on average 4 pictures before they post the right one. I was speaking to one girl last week. She takes about 10 to 15 pictures before she posts the right one. Filters are incredibly important. They're worried about their spots, their appearance, and on things like Snapchat, you can kind of blur that all out. But this is something that 11, 12-year-olds, they shouldn't be worrying about at such a young age, and I think that's what is a bit disturbing.
What's really interesting is the photograph is so much part of the communication, isn't it? Because,
really
on
is.
Snapchat, for example, that's what you start with, isn't it?
It is, and it's a currency thing. In the playground, kids are popular amongst their mates if they've got the most likes. If they haven't got many likes on their pictures, they take it down straight away. So there is a bit of a problem in schools and playgrounds when it comes to selfies and social media.
And that's a real issue, isn't it? If you're judging yourself on how other people judge you by your appearance, it's not a good place for kids of that age to be involved in.
Absolutely, and at Childline we are seeing children coming through to the helpline and really kind of talk to us about how it's affecting their self-esteem, their confidence and their self-worth. And in the most serious cases, children who are feeling, suicidal and self-harming as a result of, feeling they can't keep up with that pressure online.
You've also been talking about sharenting.
We have as well. Sharenting is something that maybe some people haven't heard of before. That's when your parent will take a picture of you and then post it online without asking a child's permission. And we found out in our survey that some kids weren't too happy about this. I spoke to some kids in Greater Manchester about this very issue.
Okay, let's have a look.
When my mum takes pictures of me, she'll do it when I'm not looking, and then won't ask, and then she'll just put it on.
Mum took a picture of me when I was sleeping, so I obviously didn't know until morning.
They just post whatever they can find. They just don't really think about anything.
They might post it just to have a laugh with their mates and think it's funny for her, but may not be funny for you.
You think about it, but they don't think about it.
Don't let parents have social media.
I love that young lady. She's sort of...
Straight down the line.
Do you think she's got a point?
I think she has. What's really interesting about this Newsround survey, and today is Safer Internet Day, we're calling on everyone to make that positive change, really, and be a role model. That's what we need parents to do. So if you're talking to your child about staying safe online, then parents need to make that positive change as well. So think before you post up a photo. Talk to your child, get their consent, and really check things like your privacy settings so that people can't take that photograph and share it somewhere that you're not comfortable with.
Are your own children old enough to tell you to stop it? Are they?
Do you know what? My children, George and Izzy, they're aged 6 and 8, and we have conversations. I will talk to them about whether or not we should share this on social media, because I'm creating a digital footprint for their teenage years, and embarrassing photographs of them now will be really embarrassing later on in life.
That's a very good point, isn't it? It is Safer Internet Day, so with all the selfies, there are things to watch out for, aren't there? They're giving up too much information about where you live.
They really are. And do you know what? A lot of kids are clued up about this. I don't want to say that all kids don't know what they're talking about. Kids have grown up with social media these days, so they do know what they're doing. I think you're probably best fit to give some more advice on what kids should be doing to stay safe, though.
Yes, certainly we would be saying things like, having regular conversations with your parent, and your parent getting interested in your digital life, checking your privacy settings, looking at things like location features so that people can't find you. But the real key about all of this is just making sure that you really have those regular and constant conversations. And if parents are not sure how to start it, speak to us at the NSPCC. We've got a helpline. We've also got a brilliant resource called NetAware and ShareAware.
And have fun with selfies as well. Don't take them so seriously, Dan. I know you're a big fan of selfies. So we're not saying that kids shouldn't take selfies. You know what? They can be incredibly fun. You just don't need to be as competitive with them. And also, just make sure that you're not being as serious about selfies. I think that's the most important advice.
Normally I'd say, well, I want to get grief over a shirt that I've chosen to wear.
Yeah, and you always go out of your way to make the grumpiest face possible.
Yeah, well, I think that, but that comes with age, doesn't it? comfortable to take a picture and share it without worrying, oh, my mouth
Yeah.
isn't exactly where I, and concerned about the little things. But you can understand why somebody who's 10 or 11, or the ages we're talking about here, would take all those and edit them and make sure they're pristine so that other people don't judge them negatively because of that. And that's the issue, isn't it?
That is the issue. And I was speaking to a psychologist who was saying that these kids are comparing themselves to something that's not real. In our survey, we found out that some children see celebrities posting pictures on social media, and of course we know these pictures are heavily edited, and not necessarily by them. They could have been edited on Photoshop or other software. So it's not comparing yourself to those images that are out there, and having fun with social media as well.
It's really good advice. Thank you, Emily. Ricky,
Thanks,
lovely
both.
to talk to you
Thanks.
both. Thank you.